Hello and welcome viewers. This is Metanthropes RPG. I'm Alex Oliver and I'm here with my friends today to play Metanthropes. This is the product of John and QP, who will be introduced in a moment. I have today with me Chris, Brew and Martin, so it's the A team for John's game. And I can't wait to play. I've been looking forward to this one for a long time. I've had the character in my brain for a long time. This is going to be super fun. So your players will get a chance to introduce themselves in a moment. I will hand it over to our Games Master for the day, our narrator, Mr. John Legitimine.
Hello, greetings Metanthropes, and welcome. Indeed, I feel that I am surrounded by the A-team, AAA role players, the Avengers, the real-life Avengers of role-playing games, you can say. And today is gonna be the session 0 for Metanthropes Anthologies. We're gonna create ordinary people gifted with extraordinary abilities. I'm gonna take you hand by hand, step by step throughout the character creation process. We're gonna create some, I'm sure, amazing new characters. And yeah, that's gonna be it for today. So I request our beloved players to open their character sheet. And as you can see, we have different tabs. We have summary, next to it stats, perks, meta powers. Combos are not gonna be, this is a supplement. We're not gonna be using it. Some possessions and some effects, which is under construction, under development. Well, everything you see, it's early access, and we are gonna be play testing some and beta testing some pretty new and pretty raw stuff. So let's begin with I think we can start by rolling new protagonists by clicking the button on the top. And the very first thing that you can see is that our players be selecting their meta power. So basically, what is a metanthrope? A metanthrope originates from the Greek word metanthropos, which is meta, beyond, anthropos, which is human. And the thing that defines them from ordinary humans are their meta powers. They still have the same errors and passions like everyday humans. So the very first thing that you need to do is to figure out which meta power aligns best with the idea that you have in mind for your character. We have 10 different classifications of meta powers, and we have let's talk a little bit about each of them. If you have any questions, please say, John, wait a minute, I want to ask a little bit about this and that.
First question then.
Yeah,
when I've clicked roll new protagonist, the first thing it said is choose your protagonist destiny.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you for for saving me here. Destiny is a resource in game, which basically are your rerolls. This is how you reroll your failed rolls, and it can also save you from dying. But the first things first, let's start with the numbers that you already have on your screen, which are 8 base plus 2d10. And, you know, cross your fingers, because this you cannot change. Let's hope that you have good results. Have 8 and 7, these are pretty good results so far.
Click the confirm destiny button, yeah?
Yeah, confirm destiny and you roll. Sorry, I don't really see what you see. Maybe I'll need to open a screen like that. But you have great rolls so far. 23, 20, yeah. These are all pretty well. So you have around 20 each of you re-rolls when it comes to this character creation process, which I find that are pretty, you know, this is a good number. And then you see the thing with the meta powers and the classification and the thing I was talking about. So apologies for forgetting the rules of my own game. But yeah, first thing you do is roll for your destiny. Now that you know that destiny is on the side of your character, now choose what is the defining trait, their meta power. So as I said, we have 10 classifications. You can play around with clicking stuff and seeing combinations of energy type and the role that you roll and the classification. But I would like to go through a brief description of each of the classifications because I think it's gonna narrow down the type of character that you want to create. I want to clarify that Metanthropes are not limited to having just one. They're not like Cyclops from X-Men who only has the optic beam and pretty much nothing else. You can have optic beams and teleport and mind control and whatever you want and follow. It's a game that has classifications, but it doesn't have classes, so you're not limited. The only thing is that if you begin with mind control and then you want to punch things really hard, it might cost a little bit more of experience. But we can get through this on a later part. Let's talk a little bit about the classifications. Unless you have any questions up to now. Okay. So we have the Aegis classification, which is the classification that offers the best defensive capabilities against any type of harm and injury. We have meta powers such as life restoration, which is healing, regeneration. We have defenses of the mind like meta willpower. You can draw your powers from the sun. All the classifications, all the meta powers found in these classifications are defensive. Keep that in mind. Let's move on to the next one, which is the Animator classification. This is all about controlling your little minions or crafting things. You can amass animated armies or imbue objects with abilities. You can craft diseases, toxins. You can animate plants. You can reanimate the dead. You can animate objects and all the stuff like that. Moving on. Again, pause me at any time that you want. Moving on to the Arbiters. The Arbiters offer the ability to bend the laws of reality, aka the laws of the game, including concepts such as time bending, luck bending, order, chaos, warp reality, and augmenting other meta powers or weakening them, negating them, or copying them, and other interesting stuff like that. So if you like to tap into the laws of the game and alter them, this is your classification. Moving on to those that are more of the investigative nature, we have the Clairvoyants. The Clairvoyants gather intel and possess extraordinary perceptions and heightened senses. They basically know things that others cannot know by watching, seeing behind the veils of reality, or meta tasting or meta smelling stuff. We already talked about this stuff. All this cool stuff are here. Then we have the Controllers. This is all about crowd control. You can harness energies and alter the surroundings and create barriers, from force fields to gravity to raising Earth or controlling the weather. So if you're into crowd control, this is a pick for you. Then we have our dear Cosmonauts. I need to say that the adventure that we're gonna be playing, it's gonna include a lot of cosmonauting, like visiting other dimensions. And this one is enables you classification to travel extraordinary distances or open gates and interconnect other dimensions. So we have ether projection, astral projection, and nether projection, which are gonna be dimensions we're gonna be visiting. But we also have like flight, having a dimension inside of you, opening portals, teleporting, and other cool stuff like that. Then we go to Chris's favorite classification, which is called Hammer, which is Metanthropes with unparalleled physical prowess, abilities to alter their physical form, attributes, and even size. A hammer can be used to destroy, but also to build. We have animal powers, we have elasticity, we have meta speed, meta strength, we have planetary planets like Captain Planet, we have size shift, and many other wonders of might. And moving on, Uh, Whereas the hammer might be the most damage dealing when it comes to one-on-one, then we follow with the kineticist classification, which is all about area of effect type of damage. With by harnessing the elements or cosmic forces, you can create havoc or even prevent disasters that are caused by the source of your meta powers, from acidokinesis, which is acid, air, electricity, fire, telekinesis, and other cool stuff like that. Then moving on to those that like to influence the roleplay of others and by manipulating their emotions and gaining control of their turn, the manipulators can directly influence behavior and control others, from telepathy to mind control to illusion manipulation to meta empathy, spirit manipulation, and other cool stuff like that. And last but not least, we go to the utilitarians, which is those that want to have a versatile, well-rounded capabilities with access to many knowledge and skills, and increases in all their attributes, from alter energy to immortality to meta intelligence to random meta power, which is have random meta powers each session. Okay, and that's it basically. I've told a little bit about each of them. I think you've been playing with clicking the icons and see what you like.
Yep.
Let me hear from you what you have in mind. Whoever wants to go first, they can go.
Mine is absolutely ready, but of course, ladies first. If you're ready, Brew, if you've got an idea, you're first.
I was probably just gonna go the clairvoyant route and do tasting.
Nice. Meta taste.
Oh, so you are gonna be doing that. Thank you very much. You're gonna be the very first player playing meta taste. We have played meta smell, we have played meta vision, meta hearing, but not the sense of taste, which is a very interesting pick. Let me open it up in a new window and tell you what you need to keep in mind. Your
So
number
that'd be
one stat
clairvoyant and then
when we're gonna
taste.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
when we go to the start rolling, you need to keep in mind that awareness is the number one role that you need to have very high. But we're gonna get through there. So we have your clairvoyant of the team. It's a very interesting start. How about who's next? Whoever wants to go next.
I know mine, so I
Okay,
can tell
wow.
you if you want. I am going, and I've not selected for now because I want to show off the other ones when they do it, but I'm going the kineticist telekinesis. Move things with my mind.
Ooh. Ah, I thought you were going telepathy,
Not
not
this time.
telekinesis.
Telekinesis, slightly different this time. Kind of the same character, similar backstory as I did in our earlier playtesting, but different power, different meta power. It's telekinesis, moving things with his mind.
Never mind. Interesting.
Now, do I choose an
Very
energy type
interesting.
when I do that, just out of interest? It'd be psychic, wouldn't it?
You can just click kineticist. These options narrow it down, so you have as a few options available. So if you click kineticist and psychic energy, you're gonna have only one option at the end.
Oh, so you can be an all-rounder and just leave it as all.
Yeah,
okay.
you might choose only the classification and then go to which one exactly do I want, and you have 10 options. If you select the energy type or the start role, it's gonna narrow down your options.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear from Martin and Chris.
Well, I went for a hammer. Wow, surprise there. But this time I think I might go for biomorphic power. So does that mean then that I can change myself, for example, into like a rubber man?
I would say that the Rubberman is the elasticity,
Yeah.
closer to Mr. Fantastic or Luffy from One Piece. Is elasticity. Biomorphic allows you to change your muscles, change the bones of your character, the hair, the bones, and at higher levels you can completely alter. Have wings or tentacles and become something truly human. That's the path of biomorphic.
Oh, okay.
Is it the thing that you were going for the elasticity, which is more like,
Mr.
like Luffy or
Fantastic.
Mr. Fantastic, close to that.
Yeah, that was what I was leaning towards. So instead, what I'll go for the size shift instead and just make myself giant.
Oh,
Or
excellent.
tiny.
Size
Or
shift.
tiny.
Yes, allows you to you have versatility, bigger, smaller, all the changes. So very interesting. So you can also be sneaky. You're very very little, or you can roll across you and grab others when you're a giant.
Nice, Chris.
Excellent choice.
With that power, are you able to? It sounds weird, but are you able to focus on just a body part? So if you wanted to make like a giant hand,
I know where
it's
you're
a
going
very
with this.
interesting question.
Or I know where Martin's going to take it.
So glad the female of the group asked that question. A little bit.
I will come back to you with that later in the saga. With that, it's an
Bruce
interesting
thinking,
question.
oh, I could have 36 triple Ds for a change for once in my life.
And
You
now
thought
let's
we were-
hear
you
from
thought we-
Martin. So we have like the side changer, the telekineticist, and the meta taster, which is gonna be the fourth wheel in that great team.
I'm gonna be a manipulator, and I am gonna choose pheromone manipulation because I thought it'd be cool.
So people's
Yeah.
hormones and
I would
stuff.
see what everyone else. That can control.
This
I
is,
presume that means I can control people or something a little bit, but chemically or
Or the
something.
poison ivy kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, like the
yes,
Poison Ivy,
Poison
that's
Ivy
the
does have
situation.
it. It has a lot of fight or flight pheromones. You can detect others, humans and metals alive through their pheromones. You can, it has a lot of options for a manipulator. So that's a very very distinct option. So go ahead and click these meta powers that you have. Going through them again. For Brew with meta taste, awareness is number one priority. For Oliver with telekinesis, willpower is the number one priority. With size shift and Chris, we have power. And with pheromones and Martin, we have manipulation, just to keep in mind. So I think the very next step, after you selected your meta power, is I should have opened and
characteristics.
Thank you. Yeah. Now it's time to choose between the characteristics. So a little bit about the system. We utilize our very own D100 system. So that means we have our stats in the form of percentage, and the lower you go, the best results you have. With the 1 being the critical success and 100 being a critical failure. So generally roll low, much like Call of Cthulhu and many other D100 systems. So what you need to choose right now is between body, mind, and soul to create your own basis for those three characteristics. Underneath those three characteristics are the stats that you will actually be rolling. Between those three options, body, mind, and soul, your first pick will get a base of 30%, your second 20%, and your third 10%. I've seen someone already chosen and rolled.
I'm going mind, soul, body for the telekineticist.
So yeah, you can choose all of you the different ones. As Chris Kidd made the first roll, before you click confirm, make sure you have on the right side on the chat presentable so you can see the result, and you also see a button that says click here, spend Descent to reroll. So you roll for the let me tell a little more info before we go on. Okay, so you have Chris chose for his character a body base of 30. Now he's between endurance, power, and reflexes, which are the three stats of body. He chooses a first pick, second, and third, and then adds to that base 3d10, 2d10, and 1d10 for the third pick. So for your first pick with 3d10, you rolled a total of 19. So you will have a score of 49%, which is almost 50% chance. It's pretty good. I'm surprised you didn't go for power for your first pick. So it's not anything wrong with it.
I thought endurance might be more beneficial. You know.
Yeah, I'll go with it. Yeah, there's no mistake in character creation. Endurance obviously will have you know more. It will be harder to kill, harder to get poison, all that stuff. So it's very important. Generally, what I would like to say that you need for your prime, for the main characteristic, to have around 20, to be around 50%. Ooh, we have a 10, and as you can see on the system, when you roll a 10, it explodes with this plus 10 effect, so it adds up and rolls again. So we already have a 26 for Martin, which is a very high stat for power. Yet you went for power instead of mind, because manipulation is under mind. And
Okay.
interesting in laugh. If you were going for this, by all means go ahead. I think I should have explained where you can find your main stats, but we can't do changes later on. But let's go with where we are right now. Give me a second, actually. Yeah. Did I mess QP? The rolls are complet. Okay. Let's go where we are. We're going great. So we have Oliver with 28 reflexes, which is amazing. When you're not satisfied with the result, you can click on the Destiny Reroll button. These are very important, and it will remove one from the around 20 Destiny that you have. So make sure that you're satisfied with the results.
If we get
Obviously,
a bad roll,
with
use
3d10,
Destiny.
you can get much higher than rolling 1d10. There are a lot of dice flying. Make sure that you check that your name on chat is the one that you're rolling right now.
6. I'm re-rolling my 11, mate. 15, I'll
better,
take
15.
that, yeah.
7 is a great number for 1d10. And Martin, yeah, correctly, you have, sorry about that, I got a bit confused, that was on my end.
Yes, I'll take
Make sure
that.
that you didn't do. Martin, total of 20. 20 is fine for 2d10. Very fine for 2d10. Woo! Lots of rolls flying left and right. Let me see what we have here. Perception score, that's pretty low for 3d10.
Re-rolling it. That's better.
21, it's much better. We have a 10. We're here. Our Oliver manipulations.
16 on 2d20, I'll take that.
Well, the one with the wow, we have Martin has amazing rolls. 26,
Nice.
maybe the highest so far. Very high willpower. Well build, as we say. 17. Oliver with a low creativity. I don't know if it's worth. Oh, another 10.
It was my one dice one, the creativity.
Brew with a 28, setting the new highest
Nice.
score. Let's see if anyone can beat the 28.
That's a 10.
Ooh, that's a very
25
good
on
one.
3d10, I'll take that.
Willpower. It's a good 25. It's a good for your main.
Yeah, I'll take that.
I haven't spoken much for the the stats of the soul. What's the difference between awareness and consciousness? That's on me, but I think you're already rolling and you're getting a hang of it.
There
Once
we
you
go.
open your character
I'll
sheet,
take
you
that.
can see more information.
Take that.
Ooh, somebody rolled a 1.
Yeah, re-rolled it.
Okay, you did it with a 7.
I've used 6 destiny in
four.
character creation.
So you only have 6 destiny left.
No, I've used 6. I've
Oh,
got
you
14
spent.
left.
You've used 6.
Yeah.
Okay. 5.
Right.
I'm seeing something weird, QP. I think Chris Kidd is rolling endurance.
I was
No,
re-rolling
there you
it.
go. Now you have power. Ah, you were just reloading. Okay, make sure that your power is over 20, I would say. 16 is okay. It might be difficult with 2d10.
Yeah, you should have took the 16.
Yes,
Ooh,
that's the one. That's the one. 16 again, okay.
Stick, yeah.
You know, now it depends how much of a gambler you are, you know. With
Come
2d10,
on.
16 is a good result.
Nope. Come on.
There it is, there it is. That's
There we
20.
go.
Yes,
Okay.
you got it, you got it. You can move
Take it
on
to
now.
20.
Ooh, a 10, nice, nice. Also with 1d10, 19 for just one dice is actually pretty great.
Very good, yeah.
All right, let's move on to the stats. Since we're still rolling, creativity is a character's imagination, expression, and handiwork. Perception is observatory, evaluative, and calculative capabilities. Manipulation is persuasiveness, charisma, and social engineering. And as for the stats of the soul, awareness is empathy, intuition, and instinctual responses. Consciousness is recollection, memory recollection, that is, subconscious processing, sanity, and willpower is courage, discipline, and confidence. Maybe I should have mentioned those things before you started rolling. Whoopsie daisy.
Whoopsie daisy.
23 for perception. That's great perception, very perceptive. More dice. Brew 13. You need to do a little bit better than this. You know, maybe it's time to spend those 19 destiny that you have. 18, getting closer. Again, depending on how much of a gambler you are. You are a bit of a gambler, and it paid off with a 9. That was 17. I rolled only a 1. Oh, that's...
I'm just gonna keep going.
Keep going. You can always keep going.
How often
I've
does
rolled so many
Destiny
ones.
refresh? After character creation.
Go ahead. You gain lots of destiny. This is not... I need to mention, if you play Warhammer or something, it's not like the fate points of Warhammer when you get 1 per, you know, story ending. You get multiple every time you get to play. So the game is segmented into scenes, and at the end of each scene and the beginning of each new one, you get more destiny. So spending as much as you want during character creation is quite important. So don't be afraid.
Should I go back and re-roll any of mine, or do you think mine were okay?
I don't think if you can go back and
Oh,
re-roll.
Oh well, that's fine.
Uh,
I'm not a power
yeah.
gamer anyway.
There you go.
Brew is rolling 14
Brew
after
is
14.
struggling.
Progressively getting worse.
It's actually, yes, that's the thing with it.
That's a bit better. Oh, it's the cross
18,
of 1.
you know, maybe you need to settle. 7 destiny, and up to you. Chris Kidd with awareness of 14 with 3d10. 4 destiny for Chris Kidd, though. Now 3 destiny, and it's improved by 1. You know, it's better than 14. 15 is. Okay.
Stick.
Another
16.
1. Oh,
1
right.
destiny
Well,
for +1.
I'm just gonna finish now. 12. 12
Yeah,
is
get into the...
okay.
12 is okay. Obviously, you can progress your character and increase them as you play. 1d10.
Nice,
Oh, that's
nice.
a willpower. 10.
Nice, 11 on a
and
1d10.
11, a total of 21 starter willpower. Fine. So, is anyone waiting to Have you all completed your stat rolling?
I have.
Excellent. Congratulations to everyone. And now it's time for the next part in character creation, which is your role play, the role play of your character. So we have background, metamorphosis, arc, and regression. What these things are: background is what you were doing as a human before you crossed that threshold of becoming a metanthrope. At this point, and I can mention that if you go to rollable tables on the top right of your screen, you have some random tables and you can roll much of the things that I'm going to be describing right now at random. It's a brand new feature, brand new tables, so it might introduce something funny, might do something weird. It's random. As for background, we do have two rollable tables that you can click, which gives you a random adjective like funny, for example, and a random occupation like banker. So you can be a funny banker or something. Or you can type and text whatever you have in mind, who you were. You could be like the mystery person, or you can type whatever you want. But we have 100 adjectives and 100 occupations, and it might be fun to roll them and see what it can create. Maybe go ahead, roll them, and you're not forced to keep them.
You want an adjective?
I really want to see those tables, how they work, and what crazy combinations they can create.
Okay, I'll give you an adjective.
Moving on from give it a hit, give it a twist.
No, I'm not rolling on the table.
Moving
I know
on
mine.
to explain what a metamorphosis is, because it's a game term. So metamorphosis is how, when, why, and under which circumstances you became a metanthrope. Your protagonist. Protagonist is a word of the player character we use, which is basically your character. So how your protagonist became a metanthrope. It could be a transformative event that shapes your identity, and it can be like a single profound event, something on your DNA, like a contact that you had with a spirit, or it can be many things. You can roll them at random, but I can give you a quick overview of the 10 examples of the 10 archetypes for each metamorphosis that you have. Metamorphosis influences your role play, but it doesn't really have any other, doesn't really force you into some path game mechanically. It basically is here for the role play, and it also presents and opens some doors. Let me give some examples. Cosmic connection. It is a cosmic factor, like a spirit or a phenomena that given you your metapowers. Could be a dark pact. Maybe you made deliberately or not a pact with a very powerful being that gave you those powers. Could be an elemental connection, something from nature, maybe like a cave that you visited, or in the deep of the ocean, or like a consumable that you ate, or whatnot. Could be a freak accident. Maybe you were hit by lightning, or a quantum confluence, or a crazy unpredictable series of events that caused you to become a metanthrope. Can be a material connection. You found something, an artifact, an amulet, or high gadgets stuff like armor, a piece of armor or something. Moving on, meta bloodline. It is part of your ancestry, your ancestors. It's passed down from generation to generation to you. It could be a psychic connection. You heard a voice in your dream, a collective consciousness, or some psychic whispers or something. It could be obviously I'm going through them pretty fast. You can open your from your journals. Sorry, again, I should have told this before. Go to your journals, player journals, and open the protagonist journal, and it has much more detailed information than the quick summary that I go through right now. Where do we scientific experiment? Maybe you have undergone a crazy surgery, or you were the first test subject, the patient zero, and you gained through science. Maybe against your will, or maybe you were the scientist. Who knows? selective evolution. It's part of your genetic code and DNA. You were born with it. Your DNA contains the secrets of your abilities, and last but not least, it's the self-made. You became a Metanthrope on your own through spiritual awakening, intense training, ritualistic encounters, devotion to a practice. This could work well with some of your abilities, but I don't know how you can be self-made and size shifting, for example. Maybe you were very stretchy and you're doing a lot of yoga or something.
Yoga?
But I'm giving you some examples of your metamorphoses. As you contemplate them and maybe you check the journal to see a lot more information, I'm going to take a breather, maybe answer any questions you have before I move on to Arc and Regression.
Picked mine already.
So-
all of them, I think.
Under my background, I just typed in like what my background is. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, background it's not something you choose, because it can be anything, any activity, adjective that describes a human could be your background. So, a lonesome bartender, or it doesn't need to be always an occupation. What did you include, for example?
He's a retired wrestler.
Perfect. I love it. Perfect, actually.
I'm also
okay.
retired.
I am as well, so I guess maybe.
We've all got the same adjective. We're all retired.
We're
I
all
don't know.
retired.
I was gonna be an
Old
older
people.
person.
You can start the scenario in an old folks home.
Yeah. I'm a retired football
You can all
coach, so
say,
I'm not particularly
I'm
old.
too old for this shit and stuff like that.
No.
Yeah.
My guy's in his mid-50s, late 40s to mid-50s. He's not that old, but he's retired because he was a football coach.
I was going north of that. I was maybe gonna be like 70.
Nice. You do a good old man, mate.
In the group.
Come again, Martin. I didn't.
I was saying, like, are they arguing who wants to be the oldest in the group?
Well, so
yeah.
far 3 out of 4
My
are
character's
retired.
not. My character's not retired, so yeah.
Nice. I'll maybe
Active
change my
duty.
adjective from retired to something else.
So maybe it's fun because you didn't actually. It's by chance. So I like those random
Okay,
things.
okay.
So nobody rolled the random table just yet, right?
Yes,
How do you get to the random table? Just so I can see it, just to see what.
Yeah,
it would
it's
say.
on the rollable tables next to journals, random tables, and I have like lots of options to roll. For example, I also have like place of birth, which includes 100 the 100 countries based on population, back from 2020 when I did the research. Anyway, any question with the metamorphosis before we go to the arc and regression, which is very, very important part
So
of your
my
role-play?
metamorphosis, mine fits in perfectly with my backstory. Freak accident, he clashed heads with somebody, was in a short coma, woke up with his power.
That's lovely. After an accident to gain telekinesis, I would personally go for it in real life,
Yeah, it'd be alright, yeah. I'll wait to hear the rest of the story. I've got this one all planned out, it's a good one.
How about Martin and Chris's metamorphosis?
Mine was a science experiment. That's why I was retired, because the Wrestling Federation didn't really want to take someone on who had been genetically modified in a lab.
Ooh,
Too much
interesting.
like
You give
steroids
me,
for them.
backstories for the world that we're gonna play. Interesting.
I like that
How
we're both
about Martin's
retired folks.
metamorphosis?
Mine is a dark pact. Because to
Ooh,
get some
this is-
weird, she's a naturalist, so she's maybe made a dark pact to help the Earth or something. Yeah, that's what I'm going for.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I,
but she wouldn't
I
tell
do
anyone,
love
I don't think.
dark pacts
You played a
because
witch,
you
Martin.
give me room to create a very
Play it.
interesting NPC and play around. Interesting.
Not decided if she knows it's a dark pact, or maybe she's been tricked by the Fae, and Anyway, that's my idea for it. She might not even know she's been tricked. She's got cool powers, and she's young, so she's gonna have to look after all the old people.
We're gonna have one young girl and a bunch of old men.
I'm retired. I'm not old.
Same. I'm thinking
yeah,
late
okay.
40s, early 50s for my guy.
This can be your role play. I'm retired, no more.
I'm retired. I'm not
dancer.
old. I was an
She's a
athlete, you know.
Well, my character's a dancer as well because I had to pick the regression. So she's an artist, but I'm going to say she was like a dancer.
Okay.
Yeah,
I should before you choose this time talk a little bit about
Oh.
Arc and Regression. I think I'm waiting
Okay.
for Brew.
Okay.
But yeah, if you go through the journal and you read, something that catches your eye, I think you played RPGs before and you kind of can go with it. But just for our viewers' sake, I will, as soon as Brew is here, I will go through what Arc and Regression is, which is quite important. And then we only have left a few finishing touches about your age, your gender, stuff like that. But I would like at this point, as we wait, any one of you to roll any random table, just for the fun of it, to make sure how it works. So whoever feels
The
like
rollable tables
rolling,
are rollable tables tab is empty, mate. QP, are you listening?
come again.
The rollable tables tab is empty. There's nothing in it.
Interesting. Maybe we haven't. QP, yeah, if you're listening, if they can't see the tables, it's maybe like they have like permission thing.
Maybe we need to have a character made
maybe.
before we get into it. Some one of those.
Maybe. What we had a roll. That was a start roll. Yeah, that was a start roll. Maybe test again on the rollable tables, random tables folder.
It's there now.
If you click it.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's there now.
thank you, QP. Yeah, that's the live development and bug crashing that we have. That's only offered by Metanthropes. We have like the developer behind the screen. Shout out to QP. They might not hear or see you, but your presence is ever felt, even in this introductory. So now, any one of you just roll some random stuff and let's have a few laughs with the random stuff. You don't need to keep the results, but then just, I really want to see some random stuff. I created those tables and I'm really looking forward to it. And we roll. There we go. The first random is
I rolled a 0, 0,
random
1.
background adjective cunning. Actually, it's just an icon 16 the result, but it's a cunning
Oh, is it? Okay.
result.
Oh, yeah, so it is.
And Chris Kidd tried a random arc, and it's a naturalist. And that gives me, you don't need to keep it again. Let's talk a little bit about arc and regression. So basically, this is the most important part of the role play of your character. I mentioned earlier that role playing in Metanthrope is segmented into scenes. It's different main location or different vibe or temporal changes the scene. On an average, on each session we're gonna have like 2 or 3 scenes. When a new scene begins, each of your characters, your protagonists, become awarded destiny, which are the rerolls that we already talked about, based on your arc and regression. So basically, role playing in this game gives you more destiny, which it's more rerolls and can also save you from dying and activate higher level meta powers. You don't need to worry about those things. So with that in mind, that we have scenes, and at the end of each scene, you gain destiny. How you can get destiny? You get at least one, even if you don't do anything. And what is arc? Arc represents a fundamental concept, the behavioral patterns, goals, and agendas of your character. It's basically what they do with their meta powers. I'm gonna speed run a bit through them. Again, you can open the journal and see them in details. And I also have like a little thing that says gain destiny when you do this and that. So we have architects, which are which contribute theoretical and practical solutions to problems, and they plan designs and construct things. We have autocrats, which is all about being the leader in a group. We have catalysts, which is all about inspire change and transform the environment and people around you. We have harmonizers, which is all about forging alliances, promoting understanding and fellowship and
Professor
harmony.
X.
We have, yeah, I know that you like this one. We have
I love it.
heralds, which is all about convincing others of the things that you have seen or studied or encountered. We have naturalists, which is all about preservation of the wilderness and safeguarding the environment and life forms. We have, on the other hand, predators, which is all about being an apex predator and embracing your inner savage and showing superiority to others. We have protectors, which is all about protect others from harm and saving others from life-threatening situations. And last, we have the wayfarers, which is all about discovering new locations, new landscapes, new peoples, and so on. So if you don't have any questions about the arc, I can move on to the regression.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if I'm going to choose the harmonizer or the protector. I think I'm going to go with the protector, actually.
I can tell you that you can change it once you begin.
Okay.
But when like an act changes, we're gonna have like 3 acts in this story. And an act we're gonna change every couple of sessions or maybe 3. So nothing's permanent. You can change them, but it will define the origin story of your character. This arc and regression that you choose. Okay, I think I can move on to the regression. So remember when I told earlier that Metanthropes, it's like a Greek word which is Metanthropos, beyond human. The beyond part is the arc, and the anthrope, the human part, is the regression. Regression is the aspect of your existence that represents your connection to your human origins. It encompasses the reversion to human behaviors, quirks, passions, and errors, despite being a meta-powered being. Remember, there's nothing wrong with the regression. It gives you the same amount of destiny, much like arc. So I don't want you to consider it as your weakness or something. It's a 50% part that defines your character. And examples include anachronism, being outside of your era. You could be, clinging into the past, or a person that's directly to the future. Whatever the case may be, you blend elements from different eras to your daily life. An artisan is a person that expresses themselves artistically, even at perilous times. Beloveds, you have a group of people or individual or your pet or whatnot that is your beloved, and you need to keep them in your everyday life, bring them together to your crazy missions, or talk about them all the time and protect them and keep them safe. Consensus, you want to paint a clear and nice image about what it means to be a metanthrope to the rest of the world. You're very concerned about the opinions of others, the public image, and the public consensus. Heritage.
Again, Professor
You
X,
honor your... yes, exactly. It's like, Professor X is a harmonizer consensus or something. I think that exactly defines it, not the protector. He's a harmonizer consensus.
Yeah, harmonizer.
Heritage. Heritage is that you honor your family traditions and legacy, and you bring your your legacy and honor your commitment to your legacy with you. Moving on to materialism, you are all about obtaining material wealth and promotions and money and shiny things, and you don't, even that you are a meta-powered being, you're still clinging on to those desires. Over enthusiasm, you always wanted to have superpowers, and now that you have, you cannot shut up about it. It's the quick version about it. You always express your enthusiasm even at inappropriate or perilous times. Persona. Everything you do, you hide behind an alter ego, an identity, a secret identity. You don't want people to know who you are when you are using your meta powers. And last, we have the suppressed, which is you are afraid to use your meta powers basically, and I'm pretty sure I missed someone. I missed one. I'm gonna go.
Well, like
yeah, I
that
missed
for my
one.
guy.
I missed disbelief. Let me finish up. Suppressed. You don't want to use your meta powers. You're afraid you're like a glass cannon, and if you fire, everything is gonna break. And you gain destiny when you're actually not using your meta powers, but still manage to be useful. And for some reason, one very weird reason I must say, I went through disbelief without describing it. Disbelief is a very difficult to play because even though that you have meta powers and you use them, it's not like suppress that you don't use them. You don't believe that you are anything meta powered. You haven't reasonably you reasonably convince yourself that you're not a metanthrope, and whatever it is that you're doing for whatever reason. It's a perplexing one to
Oh, I
play,
like that
to say
one
the
for my
least.
guy
It-
actually.
Yeah, it leads to fun roleplay to say the least.
I think
but,
I'm going with
you know,
that,
if
by
you're
the way.
again, I'm gonna go with Chris's example. If you're growing in size, I don't know how you can convince yourself that you don't have meta powers. But if you're doing something like meta
not
taste, on the
disbelief.
other hand, you might say that, you know, I just have a great taste. I'm not anything
No, I like
meta powered.
suppressed.
But again, I've given you 10 examples. The rules of the game, I need to say, state that you can create one of your own with, you know, sitting down with your narrator. But I think I have, you know, these examples should give you a breadth of ideas to choose from.
Question. So for suppressed,
Yeah.
can it be you're afraid to use it because you don't want people to know that you about it, rather than you don't want to do it because you think it's going to kill you or it's going to hurt yourself or something? Can it be that kind of suppressed?
If it's a social thing, I might be closer to persona that you have in mind. But whatever the reason may be, could work with the suppressed as well. Whatever the reason may be, if you manage to survive and get by without using meta powers and still be useful, you gain destiny. But you also, this might be interesting to you, you gain additional destiny when you use them, and you indeed show everyone why you haven't been using them.
What about
So it might work well with telekinesis.
What about someone who tries to use them discreetly, when possible?
Let me read between the lines now.
So I've got a very specific character in mind, John.
It could work. It could work. I can see your character with telekinesis having suppressed and.
When you hear the
being afraid
backstory,
to
that'll
use
make the
them.
suppressed thing's going to make sense when you hear the backstory.
Okay, I believe you. I believe in you. So go ahead and pick it.
Yeah,
Pick
I'm
it.
gonna pick suppressed.
What else for the rest? Any regressions that caught your eye?
I was gonna go with materialism.
Hey,
It's all about the bling bling.
Yeah.
all about the Benjamins.
I changed. I'm not retired anymore, fam. So
Oh,
we had too many old people in the group.
It goes well with your meta taste, you know, because you like tasting and grabbing things. So materialism actually goes well with meta taste. Very nice pick.
For me, I picked heritage.
Uh-huh.
Because I come from a family of famous wrestlers.
oh,
That's
cool.
what led to
Nice.
the experiment.
Are you like a pro wrestler?
I'm
you know, what type
retired
of
now.
wrestler?
I'm
Okay, I
retired
mean,
now.
what kind
like a
of
pro
wrestling-
wrestler? Yeah. Like
A pro wrestler
wrestling.
before you retired. Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of wrestling? Like actual competitive wrestling, or like WWE entertainment
No,
wrestling?
like WWE wrestling,
Cool.
like proper, like
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
somersaults
Yeah.
and backflips and masks and tables and all that. Yeah.
people's elbow. you know?
Yes. Love it. Love it. I've got a retired
You
sportsman
need to
as
come
well.
up with your special moves and tell me at some point before
I
the
will,
next
I
session
will.
begins.
I know
You
why
need to
you're
have
playing a
special
wrestler.
moves.
It's because of what you did when we played this. When you played this before, isn't it? That's exactly why you played a
The
wrestler.
suplex. Yeah, the suplex.
You know John as well. You remember.
How about Martin's regression? I think you already
Oh, yeah,
mentioned
but-
it.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick the artisan one because I was gonna say she's gonna be a dancer or possibly an ex-dancer.
The artisan. Yeah. You're the artistic of our group. Excellent. So now, by concluding this part, I think the next one says how much XP and free perks you're gonna start, right?
Confirm
The
your
next,
protagonist's
click.
progression. Yes, starting experience
Yeah.
1,000.
Let's
start
go with
burst
the with
two.
the with the s- let's go with the standard character creation, which is 1,000 experience. But I will give you 3 perks instead of 2 starting perks. And as you click that, I'm gonna say a little bit about how experience and perks work in this game very fast. So basically in this game you don't level up, it's without levels, but you accumulate experience and then spend it on your meta powers, your prime or a new one, and progressing them. You can spend your experience to increase your stats and characteristics to have better role outcomes, and to increase your perks. Perks are divided in knowledge and skills. They're also included on the journal protagonist, so you can give them a quick look over there. And basically, it's like a further background to your character and give them access to specific areas of knowledge, like the knowledges like from academics, which gives philosophy and history and stuff like that. Engineering, yeah, we'll go through a bit, a few words for each of them. Engineering, which basically crafting stuff, and architecture and designs, blueprints, and then lore, which is very interesting because lore, it's your character's knowledge of the meta. It could be meta powers, spirits, folklore, enigmas. All the metaphysical is into lore and helps you identify other meta powers when they're being activated. Medicine is, medicine is about closing wounds when bleeding, performing surgery and stuff like that. Science is all the sciences here, from quantum stuff to chemistry, whatever you feel like being knowledgeable of. And then we have skills, where skills are more practical theses rather than it's like a practical field uses and application rather than theorems, which are the knowledge. We have artistry, which like being like a worldwide recognized artist. We have athletics, which is like it gives you a breadth of options and like suplex and obviously very important for Chris, and artistry very important for Martin. Expertise is an interesting that you can pick multiple times. It gives you, when you are rolling a raw stat, not a meta power, just a raw stat, 5% per level that you have. So you can have I won't like to have an expertise on marksmanship. It gives you a perception a bonus when rolling it, but not your meta vision perception, so just for stats. Operation is about using gadgets and vehicles, and weapons is about all kinds of weapons from melee to range and so on. So you can give 3 you can pick 3 for free. So it could be 1 at level 3 or 3 at level 1, so on. They go up to level 5. If you reach level 5, you're like the best in the world at that. It's pretty cheap when it comes to spending your experience to progress them, but once the story begins, you cannot unfortunately develop your perks in between sessions unless there is a downtime, because they actually require training it in game. We're gonna have 3 downtimes between the 3 main acts of the story, But if you have like athletics 3 and you want to go 4, it costs only 400 experience, which is not a lot in this game, but you cannot do it in between sessions unless there is a downtime that gives you up time to train and perform the whatever you need to do. Any questions about the perks?
So we're getting 3 perks, and one of them can be this one where you put a expertise on. We could potentially take 3 levels of expertise and have plus 15% on any
50%, or 3 5%, or 1 10% and 1 5%. You can divide it as you want.
Yeah, I like that.
And and just for reference, you start with 1,000 experience, and progressing perks is only 100. So it is maybe best to progress them with a starting character, rather than keeping them for there. But you will have a chance to. We're gonna have 3 downtimes at least to progress them after the story begins. You don't need to spend all of your experience right now. So I'm gonna come back to experience a bit later, but I think you now just have the final step to conclude your character creation, which is the summary. What I need from you is to add the character name. This is a requirement for the system to work. And other than that, you can take your sweet time to choose your date of birth and stuff like that later. But and you can add whatever you feel like adding. And then besides the things that come to your character sheet, you can add, you will have like a couple of weeks until we play the session 1 to include personality traits, full background. Oliver already has a background. The rest of you will need to come with some sort of background. I will not pressure you with anything. Their appearance, how they look, how they behave, quirks, whatever you like.
Okay.
For the place of birth, we do have a random table as Sweden or Guatemala. Again, it's one more thing, Oliver. Again, it's population based. So apologies to New Zealand, to Norway. They don't make it to the 100 list of based on population. Greece, which I'm from, barely made it. So again, you can choose whatever you want instead of rolling it. Question from Oliver.
Yeah, so saga name, coalition name, and faction name. What would you like me to put there?
Okay, saga name, I want you to add Anthologies. That's what we're going with. Now, in coalition, faction, and coalition is basically you as a group. It's like when multiple Metanthropes come together, they form a coalition. Obviously, you can form it once the story begins, and a faction is like a combination of coalitions, so you don't need to fill those two. But I do have an idea for your coalition name. It could be like the retired folks and the artisan or something like
the retirement home.
But yeah, you don't need to fill this up. Okay. So you can click on enter the multiverse, and then we can open the character sheet and go a little bit about each tab and choose your picture. So unless we have any questions, I think by now you will all have completed the character creation.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all cool. Okay, let's open your character sheet. And then we have like a few tabs. The first tab is summary. You can start by clicking on the hooded figure from Foundry, and then you can choose between a collection of 20 official tokens for Metanthropes created by our very favorite creator, 2D Storyteller. And the cool thing about those tokens is as soon as you select them, then I'm gonna drag and drop your token on the lobby scene, and you will see that they automatically include the top-down version of your tokens. So you have like the portrait version, and then you have the top-down, as you can see on the lobby screen, which I placed you all next to each other. So on the summary tab, you have the picture, you have like the basic information of your character, like, such as the prime meta power, the metamorphosis, and so on. If you hover your mouse on each type of whatever is on bold, basically like metamorphosis and dark pact and those things, it pops up and gives you further information. How you call that? You call them? I don't remember the name that we use for that one.
Quick question. My
yeah,
meta
go ahead.
power says meta smell instead of meta taste. Is there a way to edit that?
I also see that for Martins, it's hypnotic instead of pheromones.
Yeah.
And, this one is fine. Yeah. So I don't know what that happened. Yes, QP says he can do the changes. So we have Martins and Bruce. For some reason, it didn't go the one that they chose, but we can change it. Also, the summary tab has some, you can add physical description, you can add some notes about your protagonist, notes about your saga, about the coalition. And I also have a tab that I can add notes for you from the narrator. Maybe we can use this later. For Aurora Charming QP, from hypnotic manipulation, make it pheromone manipulation. And for Tina Misu, I guess there's a pun somewhere here. It's meta taste instead of meta smell.
Tina Misu.
Tina Misu.
She's made a taste and a Greek gag, boys. The one and only brutally honest.
And let's go to the next tab next week, which is the stats. So we have like the body, mind, soul, which is like your base. And underneath, with bigger letters and bolder fonts, we have the three stats underneath them. If you hover your mouse over the big numbers, you can left click and it will roll on the chat the results. So you can make a few rolls, have fun with it. And but don't spend your destiny, because right now it's the actual destiny that your character is gonna have.
Real quick question.
When we start playing.
I'm editing the physical description. Is there a button I press to save? Yeah, I found it. Never mind, found it.
It's like, it has like a
So
arrow
point-
down.
yeah,
Says
found
save.
it.
Tina Misu's first unofficial roll was 99, almost a critical failure. And as you can see, it says it's a failure. So we see it with the red dot, with the red square actually. And underneath says accumulating 4 X's. Each X is every 10% that you go above that your desired stat roll. You need to hit your number and below. The higher that you go, the more bad things gonna happen to your character. On the other hand, with Aurora Charming, with a 32, with a 56, they rolled a 32, which is 2 levels of success. So there was a very good result. So as you can see, you don't need to do any math.
Martin, Aurora Charming?
Come again?
Is that Martin's character, Aurora Charming?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we have Diego with just 1 level of failure, which was not a terrible roll, but a failure nonetheless. Now, you can make a few more rolls. Just don't spend your destiny, and then we can try something different. We talked about how not all levels of success and failure are equal. If you fail by 8 levels of failure, if you try to jump and fail by 8 levels of failure, you're probably gonna fall a few roofs down. But if you fail just by a few percentages, or just one, maybe you hang at the very end or something. So it depends on the situation, circumstance, and game. But we also have bonuses and penalties applied by the narrator. So let's say you try to jump over a ledge, but it's raining, so it's a little bit slippery. The narrator can say, instead of left clicking on power roll, you can right click. So you can click on your power. Let's do that example, everyone. And it gives you like a new table, and it includes like multi-actions. We're gonna go some other time through multi-actions, bonus and penalty and reduction. Let's go with add a 20% bonus, add a 20% penalty to your rolls, and then attempting them. And as you can see, it's gonna be much harder to succeed on such a roll.
Remind me
But
how you
with
do
a
that?
007, somebody, the 007, who was it? Oh, Tiramisu, even they rolled a very good roll with a 22 power and a 20% penalty. It was extremely difficult
Sorry,
to
how do
make
you add
such
the
a
penalty?
difficult
Where's
roll. Right,
Right
click
click.
on the
Yeah, right.
on
right,
the
cool,
huge
right,
number instead of left. Left click is a normal rolls. You want to say roll power, just left click. If I say roll power with a penalty or bonus, you right click. Now, just to bring up your morale, I want you to try something else. Let's say that you want to remember something that happened yesterday. You have a very clear image that you were paying attention. Go to your consciousness, right click, and add the 50% bonus to your consciousness.
Ah,
And then you will see how everything will go green, and you will have many levels of success. Tiramisu again barely made it. Rolls are not on your side on this test session. Diego accumulating 4 levels of success.
Chris,
I
what's your
see
character's
someone
name?
already. Who's?
Chris. You got a name yet?
Let me check.
Yeah.
You have yes. He had let me double check. Aurora. For some reason, QP. When I hover the mouse over Chris Kidd character says Chris Kidd, whereas in the character sheet says Hulk the Sword Zoro. So I don't know what's
What's his name?
what
Hold the
that
sword,
do with
Zoro.
that.
Hawk.
Chris Kidd, do me a favor and make any roll to see how your name appears on chat. With a bonus, without
Nice
bonus.
roll.
Oh, that's a
Oh,
very good roll.
Hawk
No,
the sword.
the name, it's only if you hover the token that says Chris Kidd instead of your character's name. But on chat, it's pretty great. So we already, so that's the base of the system. Obviously, when we go to action scenes, there are multi actions and reactions and other stuff. I don't think I need to trouble you with that today. What we can do is go to your perks and increase your perks by I don't know how exactly it will look to you, so we can do that. You can spend your experience up to the next session that we begin, so you don't need to spend your experience right now. And I think progression is under development, right, QP? So you will have lots of time to think how you're gonna spend your. Yes, it's under development, but maybe in 2 weeks it's gonna be ready for you to develop your characters. And what else? Basically, this is it. We have characters, we have names, we have stats. Kind of know how to move around. QP already fixed the token. Such fast bug fixing, amazing. And yeah, how does this how things show up to now? So we do have our experience to spend, but other than that, your characters are perfectly ready to begin their journey.
Yep. I'm feeling happy about mine. We've got names, we look good.
So we have Diego del Toro, a telekineticist, retired football coach, who after a freak accident uh, entered a new world with telekinetic abilities, which he uses, he pronouns, for to protect others, but he would rather not use them. I'm just going over what you have here for me, for the audience sake. Male, 48 years old, from Spain. Always at a tracksuit, uh, with various kids of European football teams. We have Aurora Charming, with pheromone manipulation, made a dark act with something. I can't wait to figure out together what that was. Maybe a spirit of nature, maybe something a bit darker. Who knows? I don't know yet, but we will conjure it up together. A naturalist with an artistic nature. 27 years old female character. Can't wait to discover together what that dark pact was that enables you to to manipulate the pheromones of humans and Metanthropes alike. We have Hulk, the Sword, Zorro, which is a retired wrestler that has undergone some scientific experimentation. Again, some backstory that we're gonna develop together. Who was it? Why they done to you? Did you want it to happen? But against your will, who knows? Now you can become large and small alike. You're also protector, and your heritage from New Mexico, from a line of wrestler, plays an important part from you, with a presence that commands attention, with a chiseled physique owned from years in the wrestling ring. We already have a huge physical description,
Love it, Chris.
which I
Love it.
will allow you to go through it when the first session begins. Just going very fast with each of you. And last but certainly not least, we have Tina Misu. We have another one who has gone a freak accident. It's developed them a meta taste. She is a food blogger.
A food blogger.
Amazing, amazing background with a herald that cannot wait to share the things that they discovered through her amazing sense of taste. And by the way, Cupid, the icon, still shows the meta smell icon instead of meta taste on the far right. She's from France, and materialism is all about finding interesting items and tasting them. If you press F5 like refresh, so I'm refreshing. I think everything's gonna be fixed. Not now, server restart says QP, so maybe I shouldn't have refreshed just now. I think we're good, we're back, all is well. But yeah, it did refresh, and I do see the icon of meta taste. And together, for our dear audience, as I'm getting ready to wrap things up for this session 0, and then we're gonna have an after session conversation. But just for a teaser trailer, I'm gonna change the music for what you're gonna see in this new series, RX Oliver's channel. I'm gonna change something very appropriate to build hype up. And so our new protagonists, our new 4 protagonists, we're gonna begin when they just develop their meta powers and they just realize there's something off with them, something different, something unique, something meta, and they're gonna be inexplicably drawn towards a mysterious opera house. There, I cannot disclose what they will see and who they will meet, but they will be introduced into a far greater landscape filled with multiple timelines and various dimensions. And with this story, Metanthropes Anthologies, we're gonna see their travels through different types of dimensions, from the astral dimension, the realm of dreams, from the nether dimension, the realm of what was but is no more, to the futuristic ether dimension with futuristic devices. And there they're gonna discover themselves, the extraordinary within. They're gonna develop their prime meta power, but maybe a few more meta powers, each of them. They're gonna forge bonds of fellowship and coalition between them, maybe a little bit of intrigue, maybe we're gonna have a few PvP. No, just kidding, no PvP, hopefully. And they're gonna encounter spirits, powerful extra dimensional entities. We're gonna discover and encounter other Metanthropes which have been developing their meta powers for far greater alone, and they're gonna be introduced of scales of power in this game. And who knows where this travel is gonna take them? I certainly don't know. It's only 4 of them that they're going through collaborative storytelling. They're gonna discover the mysteries of the world of Metanthropes. So I have been your host and narrator. Thank you for everyone for rolling. Hope you had fun, and it gives you, lots of food for thought to start marinating and working towards up until the next session. And I'm giving it back to our host and producer, our beloved Oliver. Stay legit and stay meta from your narrator, John.
Thank you, John. Well, that was a really fun session 0, folks. I can't wait to play session 1. So,
Same, looking forward to it.
yeah. I'm excited about these characters. The food blogger with the meta taste, that's a nice touch. Chris, I love what you're doing. Martin with the pheromones, that's going to be fun. I know you're going to play that so well. Yeah, this is going to be.
Yeah, I'm not going to be in on these old people that I'm hanging out with though. So,
yeah, so this part, at least of this session 0, will be going up on YouTube. So everyone, say goodbye to your viewers. I'm Alex Oliver. These are my friends. Stay legit. Stay meta.
Yeah, you said the thing.